Welcome to the Dance to Heal podcast. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how life is a dance. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that mind and body connected movement is vital to healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I created Dance to Heal Wellness featuring the Spotlight Confidence Formula and also authored the best-selling award-winning book, Outside In Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new ways to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. Welcome, audience. I have the utmost pleasure of welcoming Kate Nash today. Now, I've known Kate for quite a few years, and we're going to just read the first sentence of her very, very affluent bio because I have so much respect for you, Kate, and I'm so glad you're here. My wonderful audience, Kate is an instructional designer and leadership strategist with over 20 years of experience. So she helps people like you and me learn, lead, and grow. Now, the thing that I really love about her ability to break down rather complex thoughts and things that are happening in the world right now so that we can understand them, because she got to develop training for Fortune 500 companies well before launching her practice in 2020. And it feels like right now in 2025, the world is blowing up in ways we can't even quite comprehend, forget about keeping up with it. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. And like you said, I totally respect you. I just love being on this podcast with you. I think we talked about doing this maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes.
And here we are.
Yes,
Here we are.
it finally happened, right? And I think this is the best time ever because they've now just come up. Well, by the time this episode airs, they might probably be going on another version of ChatGPT. I think they just launched version 5, and they keep innovating it. And there are a lot of people who don't even understand ChatGPT free at the most basic level. And there was a story about someone putting in someone's name about how they would teach something and then them witnessing it live another time when that person spoke. What does that mean, Kate? When someone could type in, what would Jenny C. Cohen say about how, dance is important, and then it would pop up what I would teach about. What does that mean, Kate?
Well, the AI ChatGPT is able to look at the internet and kind of grab what you're kind of well known for if you're well known on the internet, which is fabulous. It will do its best to mimic it. And people are kind of saying, hey, so-and-so is hot and popular, and I want to do what she does. And so they'll kind of do a shortcut to use AI to deliver something that they feel like is going to be well received and make them a lot of money. Everybody wants to make money while they sleep. And so if AI can build the course for you and build it on somebody else's intellectual property, why not? Now, I have lots of problems with this, and I hope the sarcasm is coming through. Yes, you can do it. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, yeah, because I know that there are lawyers mobilizing how to protect some people's rights now on ChatGPT. I have some coaches who are very much realizing that the most pulled from resources are female authors with no credit, at all. There's a lot of because ChatGPT is like a big search engine. It just pulls from whatever is available out there, right?
Right.
And puts together its best understanding of what prompt you're putting in. How you use it a lot though, Kate. Like you can help someone build their very own AI that will look or see something from their perspective, right? How does one navigate this landscape where whatever you put in could end up being someone else's data?
Yeah, I think for those people who like to cheat, AI lets you cheat faster. If you like to steal other people's stuff, you can steal it faster. It just makes it really easier. However, if you have some ethics in your business, if that's important for you to do things correctly, there are ways to pack your custom GPT with your intellectual intellectual property, your frameworks, your values, how you like to write, your tone and your style, so that it creates content that's more like you. That to me is so much better use of AI than trying to borrow somebody else's voice. I mean, that actually diminishes that shortcut that you're using to create something fast and viral based on somebody else's content. It's a shortcut, but it's also kind of shortcutting who you are. You're getting cut out of that loop. And who you are is really a fabulous part of your business. If you're not putting that in the mix, then you, first of all, you're being unethical. But secondly, you're not actually standing on what makes you unique and what's amazing. Because for whatever content you're trying to create from your AI sessions, that's content that ultimately should link back to you. And so if that content looks and sounds like somebody else, but brings them to you, that's kind of a mismatch. But if your content and everything is based on your frameworks, your values, your voice, your experiences, then it can link to you, and it feels like it's the next logical step. They read your content, they talk to you, and everything is seamless.
Oh, I love that. So, explain a little bit more for people who don't quite understand how to work ChatGPT, what it means when you said you can build someone their own custom GPT.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great question. One of the things I do is I create courses for other people. So I'm constantly getting in their heads, trying to think of like what makes them unique and brilliant. If I have 3 clients, what I create for each one is bespoke to that person. It's like, what is that person's values? What is their voice? Who is the people they're trying to reach? And what makes them special in the way they create it? So I spend a long time, mapping out what a course should look like and what each lesson should look like so that it is just exactly just like them, which if you think about it, I'm kind of like before there was AI, there was me, not artificially intelligent, but Kate intelligent,
He
so
tells
you could be creating KIs, but I would create content for another person and I would help them see what is really beneficial in what they have to offer. I remember I had one call with one woman and we had a 90-minute call about her expertise, which is, by the way, nothing I knew anything about. And from that, I spent about 6 hours mapping out her course and mapping out like what made her really special about what she did. And she says, I can't believe this. I had a 90-minute call with somebody and it's like they crawled in my brain and wrote a course for me. That's what ChatGPT can do. Like all the different things that I need to know in order to write like somebody else, I can build a custom GPT, which is like a custom instructions on top of ChatGPT is kind of what it's like. And then it creates content for that person so that whatever it is, whatever content they're generating, it feels like it comes from that person.
I have a question for you regarding that. Some of us who are more using AI a little bit more, but not quite understanding between like a chat GPT and like are they called bots or something where it will
Chatbot.
automatically a chat box, right? It'll answer a question in your voice as someone will be like, oh, Jenny, how do I start dancing if I've never danced before, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I heard from someone that they're trying to what's the word? They're trying to park real estate in those bots. Like if they can get enough people to log on, and I don't think it's their chat, maybe it's their chat, whatever their landscape that they're saving or reserving, then people who have big companies that would want people to access them would then pay them money to expose those audiences to their product. Have you heard anything about that?
I have not, but I'm not surprised. Um, I do think that AI could be a great partner for marketing, so that if you have AI recommending a particular person, it could mean like a lot, especially if as people talk to ChatGPT and it feels like it knows your soul. So when it recommends something, you're like, "Ooh, I really need to try that out."
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
could see how that could
that's
work.
that's for sure. Kate, I'm a part of some memberships where people are trying to get themselves to be the first ones that pop up because you've got people like Gary Vee saying that he doesn't go on Google anymore. He goes into chat to search.
Yeah, yeah. That's absolutely right. I know that people are talking not only about SEO, but AIEO or something like that. So they want to pop up in ChatGPT's recommendations. I don't really know much about SEO or AI recommendations. So that kind of goes beyond the scope of how I use AI. I have thought about it though, and I do wonder. I personally have turned off the sharing. I do not share my content with AI, with ChatGPT, because I don't, a lot of the stuff that I work on is for my clients, and I don't want it to end up into the Ethernet. So if I'm working on somebody's, their intellectual property, I handle it with the utmost care. And so I've turned that share thing off, and it could potentially hurt my being shared on AI because it doesn't have so much content on me, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
true. This is just what I wonder. If you're not sharing it with OpenAI, then it may not be able to know enough about you to share it. But again,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to share my content with OpenAI.
So there's a way. So that's something I should have clarified earlier. Kate, if someone's on ChatGPT and they don't want their intellectual property to go out into the ethers, we can do it, set it where it doesn't share with the
Yeah.
right audience, correct?
Yeah, there's in the settings where it doesn't share with OpenAI. Now, some people are skeptical about whether or not that is actually works. But honestly, I feel like we share more of our content with, we're scrolling on Facebook, what we stop at, what we comment on, what we say. I think Alexa's listening to me all the time. So
Yep. Yep.
I don't believe OpenAI is sharing my content or capturing my content, because I have turned that off. So maybe I'm a little trusting, but I kind of believe them when they say that. But I have my data all over the place on other places where you can't help but, you know, click a cookie. I've got cookies everywhere.
I know. It's so crazy when I go back on the history and it's kept track of everywhere I've been on my computer. And I don't even remember a third of where I've been, but I can go into my history unless I clear it. And it could trace back to every single day. When I even closed a window, I'm like, whoa, this is nuts what it's keeping track of. Um, so the reason why I was asking about the AI stuff was because um, you know, I've been having an increase of people in my communities that are very faith-based, Kate,
Mhm.
and it feels almost like when you said it's like you can use it for good or for not so good uses, right? Any type
Yeah,
of technology
any
and
powerful tool. Yeah,
any power, and it's for me, it's been this understanding that if I'm really rooted in my faith of like my own ethics, then I'm really clear about how I want to use it for myself and then how I want like who I want to expose myself to. Does that make sense? It's just been really
totally.
interesting.
Yeah,
And I wanted to actually touch on that because you've been really forthright about being a person of faith on all of your social medias. And,
yeah.
you know, it's like, how does one, if someone who's very faith-based, how do we reconcile this blow up of this AI? Like, how do we, you know what I mean? Because it's like everything's available, but not
Yeah.
everything's for you.
I think there's a couple of questions in there. It's like you said, everything is available, but not everything is for you. I think part of that is like, where are we spending our attention? And so with AI, it's blowing up. There's these tools everywhere, and we can experience FOMO and go, Which of the tools are best? Which am I using the right tool?" Con Currently, I'm using ChatGPT. It's like, you ever get a phone and you've had the phone for like 3 years, and then you find out the phone does something you didn't know it did for the 3 years, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. I've had cars like that. I had my car for 10 years, and I found out after having it for like 5 to 7 years that this button on the side would turn this camera on all the time, so I could like use it as a side mirror. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I feel the same with ChatGPT. I have not yet found a limit to ChatGPT. I can do everything that I really want to do with it. And so when I reach a limit or I can't do something with it, then I'll get another tool. One example is with images. I was trying to do a lot of my images with ChatGPT, and it was slow and the images weren't that great. And so I got a subscription with Midjourney. I use a lot of images when it comes to courses, because each lesson has like these thumbnail images that I have to create. And going and searching for images used to be such a chore. Making the images used to be such a chore. So I've learned how to use Midjourney to grab a particular style for my clients' look and feel, and then use that same kind of style for all of their course images so it looks consistent. But so much faster with Midjourney than it is with ChatGPT. So there are times when I'll have to go and look at another tool because I've reached the limit of what it can do, but that's my stance on it. So that was the one thing, is about where we put the attention. I think that maybe is the only point, actually. I said two, but I lost the other one. So you just get one.
I just get one. Yeah, I love
Just
it.
get one. It was a good one.
It was a really good one. I love the fact that you're demystifying and saying it's really a tool. It's just a tool. It doesn't mean anything more than that. And when you're using it, if you're really grounded in yourself and who you are, you'll know how to use it correctly. I love that because sometimes it feels like it's very intuitive and it can easily lead me down the dark path. It's because it's always suggesting something else. Would you like me to do this and that? And then like I had done a prompt in it, and somehow it went from how I should do my LinkedIn profile better to it was putting together an entire um um what is it when you're pitching a podcast, your whole media kit. It was doing a media kit for me, but then it never showed up. It got lost. I was like, I just wasted an hour because chat led me down the path of putting together a media kit, but it really didn't know what it
Funny.
was doing. Like literally an
Yeah.
hour later, and then it kept me waiting for 3 days, and it never showed up. I was like, okay, that was really interesting.
I don't know if this helps, but I like to think about AI as being that really bright, eager intern that you hire, the one that can produce great content for you very quick, but is sometimes eager to do things that maybe that isn't your intention. So you have to kind of like rein in the enthusiasm and say, no, that's not for, we're getting away from what's important right now. Let's come back to what we really are trying to do right now.
Yes. Oh, I love that. It's an overeager, talented intern that you have to keep boundaries on all the time. It's true. It's true.
Yes.
So, audience members, I really highly recommend you contact Kate. There's two ways to find her. You can find her on Facebook under Kathy R. Nash, or you can go directly to email, right? So this is really important to pay attention to this. It's KATE at KATENASH dot CO. That's it. Stop right there. Because if you type in the M, you end up with this other person that isn't relevant to this conversation. Okay. So when you go to Kate at katenash.co or find her on Facebook, she's offered to help you build your own custom GPT, or if you want to talk to her about building your own course. Kate, for people who want to build their own course, or even just to be out there more, what would be something that you would suggest they do?
Um, Okay, so probably we'll just talk about courses. If you're going to talk about if you're going to build a course, really try and be unambitious with that first course topic. Um, if you are going for like your signature course and you're trying to build it the first time, it can be overwhelming. So if you are really careful about choosing a small topic, something that you know is doable, it'll give you practice going through all the steps, but in a more um, doable package. Let's say if you had a course that you think is a signature course and you could maybe imagine that it's 30 hours of videos, it's so much work to put that together and go through all the steps. But if you have one that you can put together and you think it's like 3 to 5 hours of videos, you can iterate that a few times and keep getting it better. And then you're learning all the steps about creating a course as you go.
Oh, I like that. So if you had this big idea that you want to promote to the world or try, you're asking us to consider doing a smaller version or something else for us to learn on before we develop that big idea.
Yes. Yeah, start small and then you can grow into something bigger, but it introduces you to all the aspects of actually developing a course because there's a lot more than most people know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna take this moment right now to speak directly to your audience. This is easy, you're just one funnel away from success is a lie, right, Kate?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
The
once
whole
a,
make money while you sleep. Remember, you have to work really, really hard before you get to that point. So,
yeah, real talk, folks, right? And so pay attention to what we're talking about, that there are tools like AI that can make it a little bit easier, the work still has to be done by you ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kate, thank you so much for coming. We're gonna have to come back because there's a couple more questions I wanted to ask you. And I think the audience is gonna be really excited for us to have you come back another time and delve further about what you do for people when they're building a course.
Perfect. We'll treat this one like a warm up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Dance to Heal podcast with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of inspiring triumph and learn more ways that you can heal yourself. To work with me and continue your journey, visit danceandheal.com. Are you ready to move?